Testing, testing. What's going on, YouTube? It is Antoine Farrell back with another live trading segment with Digital Goats Academy. There's not much to discuss today. What's going on my mic? There's not much to discuss today. What I can go ahead and say is that the writing has been on the wall when it pertains to indices, when it pertains to cryptocurrency. What we've been discussing this entire time and the expectation on what we expected for crypto to start doing. So as you can see, we got our first move from US 30 today, finally, where the market is actually deciding to push down, right? So sellers are heavy in the market right now, and this is, like I said, something that we discussed already. So it shouldn't be no surprise. It's just where's the landing zone going to be? We have to break through this area right here, so I can see the market possibly. I can see the market possibly playing around in this area because this is a level of support. I mean, this structure is support. So once it comes down here, but this is a gap. But once it comes down here, the market should definitely want to blow through that. Let's look at the other indices. The better moves for indices this week has been S&P and the Nasdaq. US 30 has kind of been like on a back and forth tear, struggling, especially when we're looking at that zone that it was at. But S&P and Nasdaq were as clear as day. Clear as day. Man. So there's not really much to discuss, like I said. I can go over a couple things as far as like, I mean, you should have been able to already find your entry. US 30 probably was the most difficult to find an entry. You would have probably had to hold your position and hope that the market either didn't kick you out or completely reverse. But as you can see, in this general area that we've already identified, one, we identified this to be a consolidation zone, but not just that, we identified this to be a resistance area. And you see all these wicks that the market has produced in the past, what was this? One, Tuesday. In the past 3, 4 days, I mean, in the past 4 days, the market has produced these wicks. So seeing that, that's telling me all I need to know. Again, like I said, it's just about where the landing zone is for these indices, but there's not really much I can say at this point. We can talk about like the news articles that were pushed out today. So what was pushed out? We had the ECB interest rate decision that happened at 8:30, and then we had jobless claims. Jobless claims happened at 8:30. Let's look at what that candle actually did. Oh, oh, okay. I was like, what's going on? That was me. I see. So this is the 8:30 candle. Wait, yeah, this is the 8:30 candle. If we scale in, we can see that it was a bear candle. And from that point on, we had to wait for like open and bell to play out all the way up until 10 a.m. Now, the one thing that I did see signs of is like you can kind of spot early momentum if you turn it to a Hakanashi chart or it's Hakanashi, Hakanashi chart. This is candles. This is Hakanashi, which measures momentum. So it didn't look like this initially, but if you look at the 4 hour, before we had this candle, the market was forming this candle. Once I saw that the market was forming this candle and price action was below the open of this bear candle, this one right here, where it has the wick, so that would have been the 6 a.m. candle. I knew that price was at least going to push out another bear candle. We've talked about this. And if you've been following our channel, definitely hit that subscribe button if you already haven't. But for those that already been tuning in, like we've discussed this before, we've discussed momentum with Hakanashis and what we're expecting. Again, technicals tell you the story way ahead of what news is telling you. We just need news to be the trigger, and today news was the trigger. So with the fact that we had the European Central Bank interest rate decision and we had jobless claims, not to mention there was challenger cuts. I don't really know what that stuff is about. You can research that on your own, but that was the first set of news that we had today that actually brought down US 30. S&P and NASDAQ, they were already selling, but US 30 was, we had that challengers cut that showed us this bearish sign. So thank God for that, right? For real. So the writing is on the wall. The only thing is where's the market gonna land at? You know what I'm saying? At this point. And we have parameters set or we have like targets that we're aiming for. We're not necessarily looking for like US, well, indices to just fall out the sky necessarily. We're just looking for the market to correct itself in order for us to buy back up because overall this is a bull market. When you're looking at it on a higher time frame, this is a bull market, so we do want to see some type of give back, which should bring us down either to a previous high or a major high. Like I said, our target is 45K, but as we get more data and as the market moves towards that area, we'll obviously have to adjust fire if we see different signs. But that's what we're aiming for. Last year, we were pretty on point with that stuff. We couldn't predict that the market was going to go down to 36K for US 30, but we just knew that it was selling. We just didn't know where, again, its landing pad was at, which was at around 36K. So we had projected US 30 to hit 50K. It came shy of that. Close enough in the ballpark, you know what I'm saying? It didn't do like we expected with S&P, but now that we have these highs, we're expecting what? Some type of pullback, either to an immediate high zone, which would line up with 44K, 45K for US 30. S&P would be around 6K, like almost 61. I mean, not 6K. Yeah, 6K, 6,100. I'm over here struggling to talk. 6,100 and the NASDAQ, I guess 22K. I'm really not sure. I'm not a NASDAQ trader. I just follow it because it's an indice, and I use it on the investing side for the stock market. But I'm not sure where because I haven't been following the NASDAQ as meticulously as I've been doing like these other pairs. But I would have to say, based off this high, because this is consolidation, we know that indices are attracted to consolidation, 22, 21K. And if we get that, those are our buy zones. I don't know if we'll get that this year. It could come shy of these areas that we're projecting because the momentum is so aggressive to the upside, but we'll just have to see. The one thing I do want to highlight is that we definitely projected for Bitcoin to do this move, to do this folly. We definitely said that. So like for the crypto bros out there, yo, I hope you're ready whenever it hits that low number. Like I'm expecting, I'd already said 65K. That would have been the first signs that we're looking for the market to kind of do like a bounce or a rebound. But the way the momentum is, like with Bitcoin, it'll probably blow through that 65K. So our next area where we're possibly looking for buys would be 50K. But even then, I've already said that I think it's going to go lower than that. Those are just areas that we kind of expect the market to possibly start showing some type of rebound against. But the way it's looking, man, this market is going to come all the way down like we projected. So I know I had mentioned this like maybe like 2, 3 years ago, and I was just basically seeing the market ahead of time. And here we are now because last year we projected that if US 30, I mean, Bitcoin continues climbing, it'll hit 125K, it hit 126K, and the market started falling from there. That's still the area we were looking at, you know what I'm saying? For like a correction. So our first area would have been 74K, but when the market did this number, I was like, no, that's a selling pattern. Now, here's the thing. When this, the fact that it's heading towards like 65, 50K, this pattern will be exhausted. So once we hit like these areas, this pattern will no longer be valid. So we probably will start having buyers. If we went lower, that would kind of be insane to me, but just look at this area as like, okay, if it's going to hit 50K, that's the last area of support that the market had. So that'll probably be where the market decides to target. But I know that once it finds like a support structure, this pattern has been exhausted. This was a bearish flag pattern, and I mean it's on a weekly time frame, but once that pattern hits like a support structure, it's done. So we should see cryptocurrency start to buy up. If it goes any lower, I don't know what would bring that any lower. I just know based off of just looking at, market structure, reading technical analysis, that that's what should happen. But, we'll assess. We have like markups set up here as far as like previous highs in the market. So this would be support down here. I definitely think it'll target like 50K. Look at that momentum. And if we see 50K, like here's the thing. If it hits 50K like today, then it's going lower. You know what I'm saying? For me, it would have to hit 50K, like it would have to like kind of stall out a little bit and then like slowly start creeping down to that area. But if it hits 50K today, it'll probably do a rebound and then it'll probably continue pushing down because that momentum is just too strong to the downside. Hell, if you just look at the trading community, I was going to fund one of my other accounts with my broker. It's not even giving me the option to deposit with cryptocurrency, which to me is a red flag right there. I mean, not cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin specifically. Other cryptos can. You want to know why? Because Bitcoin is sell. By the time you put your investment in, you probably lost money, um, as far as like day trading. But yeah, like I wish we can go into more. Yesterday we were a little bit more extensive, but this is what we've been talking about. These are the days we be hoping for. You know what I'm saying? The writing is on the wall. The market is telling us exactly what we want to see. We just have to be patient and be on the right side. You know what I'm saying? I would hate to be on this opposite side of US 30 falling. And it's a beautiful day today, traders. So I hope y'all making a lot of money, man. I hope y'all in the right direction. I hope y'all been following us and executing. I know with US 30, we've kind of been off. I don't give entry points, but I'll tell you what I'm targeting as far as like market structure where I would normally enter. And US 30 was probably the most headache that we had compared to the big three. So here we are now, like just coasting here and just execute. We already know what point A is. We know anything in between going to point B from point A could be chaotic. You know what I'm saying? So obviously execute your trades responsibly and execute as a trader, not a gambler or trying to invest. But that's all I got, traders. I'll see y'all, which will be next week. My community, you already know where y'all reach me at on Sunday. Everybody else on YouTube, I will see y'all. Our next video will be Tuesday. I'll probably see it Wednesday or Thursday, but I'll catch you on the next video with Digital Goats Academy. I'm Antoine Farrar as always. I will see y'all. If you're joining live, man, definitely do me a favor, comment, like, and also if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace. If you're on my call, you can stay on. If you're on Zoom with me right now, you can stay on.